I read that chunky book in one day. Hey guys, it's me Carol. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I have a super exciting video because I read A Court of Silver Flames in less than one day. And I'm here with a review. This will be a spoiler-free review, so if you haven't read this book and if you just want to know a little bit more about it, you can still watch this video. I won't spoil anything, I promise. I'm going to be talking about plot, writing, characters, entertainment, and if this book is actually worth a read. I do have reading vlogs for all of the books of ACOTAR. If you're interested, I'll link them all in the cards and down below if you want to hear more about my opinions on those particular books. But today we're focusing on the new release by Sarah J. Maas that we have all been waiting for. So let's first talk about plot. So this book starts right after the third book ended. I won't say any spoilers about the third book, but if you've read it, you know where it ended. We mainly follow Nesta and Cassian, but we do get to see a little bit of our favorite characters from the other books. I personally really enjoy the plot of the book. However, I can see some people finding it boring. It's a lot less action-packed than her other books, as we focus mainly on training and being prepared for future wars. In this book, there's also a focus on family, friendship, and fighting your own demons. So for plot, I rate this book 4 stars. The next thing we're going to be talking about, writing. So this writing style is extremely different from the other books of the ACOTAR series. We follow 2 POVs now, Nesta and Cassian, and they're both in third person. So she did that, he saw that, instead of I saw it or I did it. I did not expect that going into this book, but it did not bother me. I actually enjoyed my time reading third person. I felt like it made sense in this book, and I felt like it didn't take away from my enjoyment at all. But one thing that kind of bothered me, we get a lot of the same words throughout the page. We have a lot of Nesta on the same page. Nesta did this, Nesta did that, Nesta saw this, Nesta talked about that, and I felt like she could have just tried to use other words to make it a little less repetitive, but it's still okay. I still enjoyed my time reading it. I just felt the need to mention it. One thing really shocked me in this book, the steamy scenes. Sarah J. Maas is very well known for her steamy scenes, but this whole book felt like chapter 55 from the second book. So if you're into those steamy scenes, I feel like you have a great time reading it. I personally don't enjoy reading steamy scenes. I knew there will be some steamy scenes in this book, and I just read it and was like, okay, not my favorite thing to read about, but I can see it making a lot of people happy. Her writing style is very easy to get through. It's not complicated at all. She uses very simple words that get the meaning across without rambling on. And the chapters were a bit long, but they didn't feel like long chapters. They felt like really short chapters, so I could get through the story very, very quickly, and I didn't want to stop reading. So for writing, I'm rating this book a 3 stars. Sarah J. Maas doesn't have my favorite writing style, but I still read the book and I had a great time. Now let's talk about characters. Again, we follow 2 main characters, Nesta and Cassian. I really enjoyed seeing especially Nesta's character develop throughout this book. However, I can see some people completely despising Nesta. In this book, she does complain a lot. She is unnecessarily mean to everyone, and she is wallowing in self-pity and complaining about being herself and being her own body. So if that's something that one triggers you, I don't recommend you read this book. So her POVs were a bit tiring to get through sometimes because she is constantly complaining and constantly talking bad about herself. But I enjoyed seeing that. I felt like it made the character feel more personal, and I could really relate to that character, so that was fun. Cassian's POV was a lot lighter than Nesta's, which I feel like made the book be really well balanced. We had some deeper scenes in Nesta's POVs, whereas Cassian's were fun to read, they were light, and they just made the book feel like a Sarah J. Maas book. For characters, I'm rating this book 4 stars. And the next thing I'm going to be rating on is entertainment. I felt really entertained throughout this book, but I gotta admit, the first 20% was a bit hard for me to get through. I was still trying to connect with the characters and trying to get used to this new chapter of their lives. So if you start feeling like you might be a DNF after 20%, I beg you to push through it because it will be worth it in the end. Because as the story goes on, fun, you relate a lot more to the characters, and you really want to see what's going to happen. So for entertainment, I gave this book a 5 stars. And the final question, is this book actually worth it? You might be thinking, I'm a fan of ACOTAR and I'm completely scared to get through this book. I'm completely scared that this book will ruin my experience with the series. I'm so scared to see that I might not enjoy it. What do you think? Is this book worth it? I think so. If you're a fan of ACOTAR and you want to get back into that world and meet your friends again, I say go for it. This book was very fun. It was interesting. It has some emotional moments, but it also had a lot of fun moments, and I feel like if you're an ACOTAR fan, this book will just fit perfectly with her first books. It just continue on the series perfectly, and I definitely recommend it. Now, oh my god, I read ACOTAR and I completely despise Nesta. What do? I feel you. I completely despise Nesta in the books too. I felt like she was annoying and just unnecessary. But reading this book, I actually ended up loving her as a character. We could see her develop, we could see her grow, and that just meant a lot to me. I loved seeing her character development, and I loved seeing her become the woman she wants to be. So if you're not a fan of Nesta, I also say give it a go. You're not gonna lose anything. If you get to the 20% mark and you don't want to keep reading, DNF it, no one's gonna judge you, but give it a go, I beg you. So in the end, counting all of my stars and dividing it by 4, I get a 4 stars. So I'm rating this book 4 stars. Let me know down below if you've read this book and how many stars you rated it. I would love to know. Please try to keep the comments spoiler free. I don't want to spoil this book for anyone. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If yes, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below to be part of this wonderful family. I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!